How's that sound?
Alright everybody, and well, you quite finished.
Sorry. Should have recorded.
Alright everybody, and welcome back to Banished. Today we'll be continuing on from where we left off last time. Pretty much just allowing the forester lodges to get set up and started, along with finishing off the build of this one down here, and finishing off a couple little houses to continue the population growth. And yeah, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we actually probably won't have to take this hunting cabin down at this very moment in time, just because if I'm correct, we should have enough space to just sneak on past. But first things first, we're gonna go ahead and jump over to the screen is already pulled up actually, and dump a dirt road right here. That way they have a definitive way to travel back and forth between both roads. Because as you can see, the villagers do use the roads when they're there, so, you know, when applicable. And let's go ahead. I know this is probably going to be a little bit of a task for them, but you know what? Let's actually... fuck it. Why not? Let's set up a tavern right here, and we'll set up we'll settle this up real quick. Like I said, I'm not too stressed about wood consumption. We do have way more than enough firewood to take care of everybody and excuse me, anybody and everybody that we need to keep warm throughout the winter. Again, also, we are still setting up the other forester's lodge down here, so once that's set up, we should be in a much better situation. And pretty much the forester's lodge are just all working and, you know, ready to rock and roll at this point in time. Just kind of allowing them to have space to be able to store stuff and keep rolling with it. So, and I guess another thing we probably need to set up too, without going crazy and trying to set up too many things at once, we definitely want to go ahead and get a mine set up, just because we are running out of resources to go ahead and pluck from this area. As far as iron is concerned, I'm not really too worried about stone at this point in time, but we definitely want to go ahead and get a mine set up. And then whenever they go ahead and get all this stuff built, obviously I'm in no rush to get that. The firewood consumption is much more of a precedent matter. We'll just kind of go ahead and let them do all of this at their leisurely pace, and we'll also go ahead and just kind of deforestize this area. As much as I want to get the trees growing, we also need trees for expansion. So I'm going to let the forest trees do their work, but then also during winter, like it is right now, I'm going to have everybody that is a laborer and all the farmers go run around and cut all these trees for us. I know they will be walking a great distance to bring them back at this current point in time, but the plan right now is to get this stuff set up so that way we can go ahead and build another little farm right here, and then I want to jump on this back end and put another storage barn right here, and then put some more of these beautiful little stockpiles right over here, so that way we don't have to travel too far. And I might actually skip putting them over here and put them near the mine. That way we don't have to worry about taking more space up away from this forest lodge. And this stockpile, or the storage bin, good lord, this storage barn, excuse my fumble through words to find which one I needed, is really close enough to all these homes that it's really not that big of a deal. So we'll be able to just throw one down here. I'm gonna wait till the mine gets built, that way we know where to run the we know where to run the walkways and the paths, so we have some kind of orientation and setup. And like I said, I'm not too worried about cutting down a bunch of trees, because we will be setting up multiple forest lodges throughout this area, and you know, just kind of taking care of all that stuff, along with the fact that we do have this whole area that we can jump into at a separate point in time. Really, it's going to be getting this set up. Once this gets set up, we'll go ahead and build a little bridge across this little river and run this pathway down this backside over and to it. Actually, right now, while I'm thinking about that, we'll go ahead and run the road down here to the stockpile, or to the trading post, over and down to the water's edge, and just leave it there. That way we don't have to worry about it later. And you know, like I said, the good thing is that we're still having children being born. So right now our population is sitting at 40 adults and 20 children, so we are in great shape. Me building the tavern is really just to kind of increase morale, just like the cemetery, and allow people to, you know, go get drunk after work and enjoy themselves, and so that it's just not a monotonous work. But still, at the same time, obviously they will be working and doing a whole bunch of stuff. But if the tavern gets finished, or once the tavern gets finished, that will be a beautiful thing. And also, at this point in time, I believe, oh, we haven't run out of iron. Excuse me. Thought we did, but we did not. I just ran out in that spot. I'm gonna go ahead and collect the iron right here, because there is a pretty big node of it right there, just to get that collected, and collect this one too. Like I said, once the mine gets set up, we'll be better off as far as the iron is concerned. I do just want to go ahead and do as much as I can right now to get this trading post up and running. That way, that's taken care of. Obviously, the foresters are doing their thing, so we'll have an increasing number of wood getting brought in. I'm going to bump the foresters up to 8 just because we have all the laborers and we don't have to worry about it. I'm going to throw one person into the tavern. Okay, well actually, we can't actually make any ale right now. We can't do any alcohol. We don't have the correct items to do that. So the trading post is definitely going to be a good step towards getting what we need. And the trading post is just waiting on iron at this point in time, which should be fine. And then the mine is waiting on some more logs and stones, which we'll have to grab some more stone right there. And where's some more stone? We'll grab that too. Along with run down here and go ahead and tap that, tap this, get that, grab this, grab those, and grab those. like I said, we're at the point now where pretty much it's just trying to maintain the population and the amount of food everybody needs, and along with maintaining the stockpiles and growth. But the biggest things that we're going to have to throw up is going to be the mine and the quarry. I'm not exactly sure where I want the quarry. I'm thinking I'm going to throw it over here just to keep it out of the way. I thought I was going to put a hunting cabin over on this side. I still might, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I also might throw the quarry just on this backside right here and just have it set. But again, I'm not entirely sure about that. So while we're talking about it, I might as well pull it up and see how big it is. Yeah, she's pretty big. Well, I don't want to take up prime real estate in where we're trying to build. I'm really trying to keep it to the point where we have a decent sized village. I actually can't put it here, so that kind of worked out and didn't work out at the same time. Crap. We'll just throw it down right there. Like I said, we're going to be running through some logs to get all this stuff set up, but once everything is set up, we'll be good to go. And I don't really have to build much more after this. Once the quarry and the mine gets set up, it's really just going to be about making space for stuff. We haven't even gone down here, so we've got plenty of room. Along with the fact the foresters should be clearing these areas and cutting down trees like you just saw there. It's really all just about once stuff gets set up and started, you'll be able to work with things a lot faster. And right now, like I said, we're just really getting everything started. And obviously the fact that we're at 46 adults right now is sort of our problem. It's not really an issue. It's just more of we have that many adults, we only have so many houses right now, and I'm trying to build a quarry, a mine, and a trading post. So as long as we can get all those done in a decent amount of years before some of these children start growing up, we should be in great shape. I really do want to build some more homes once we get to the point where we can, which is pretty much just waiting for this forest lodge to get completed and then everything else. And once they all get done, we'll go ahead and stop building stuff for another couple of seasons just to get our stockpiles back up to where they need to be. Because right now we should be at a point where food isn't really an issue, but at the same time we do have 46 people, or 46 adults and 16 children, so food might become a problem. We might have to check that out once we get to a certain point. But like I said, the plan is to put another farm right here, so as long as we can keep up with stuff, which is pretty much, like I said, the foresters have to get themselves established and started, and once the foresters are working, then it's just a continuous influx of resources. So Alright, the mine is built. We'll go ahead and throw 2 people in there. Like I said, we have plenty of laborers, so as far as tossing people in different settings to get stuff running, we're not really too worried about that. Alright, so now we're in winter. Our food stores are a little low, so the biggest thing for next winter is definitely going to be getting this next little field planted and set up. That way we have it, and obviously once we get the mine completed and the quarry, we'll be in good shape. Plus, actually, the mine and the forester's lodge are actually almost done, so we really only have one more item that has to be completed. So we're in pretty good shape. What's this? There are citizens without jobs. No, those are the 2 miners. It's alright. You'll have a job in a second. Once the builders get there and finish the last 3%, it'll be done. Alright, and the Forester's Lodge is now set up with 2 people, which is awesome. We'll go ahead and there we go. Alright, mine's done. So we got 2 people mining. Which is awesome. That's set up. The Forester's Lodge down here is set up. Everybody's still cutting down stuff and moving along. Stuff's getting progressed. And everything else is functioning, so we're, in my opinion, doing pretty damn well. So, and logs are not really an issue anymore. Obviously, once we start building this bad boy, we'll be at a point where we're kind of at an impasse with logs. I think everybody's focused on the trading post right now, so the quarry has kind of been put to the back burner, which really isn't that much of a concern. The quarry is really just there so that way we don't have to worry about stone anymore. But obviously, as you can see, we still have plenty of stone and iron right here to be harvested. It's really just about people getting there and starting to harvest the materials, and then we'll just keep progressing. And I think I'm also going to start a small little village down here. Oops, I paused it real quick. I'm going to throw a fishing, or like 1 or 2 fishing places down here, and then probably build a little town, or a little couple homes and a storage barn and stuff like that. So the biggest thing is just to try to cut back on the walk for the people as much as possible. So if people are down here working, having them walk all the way over here to go store stuff is kind of pointless. But at the same time, right now we're trying to progress, so some of the walking is inevitable, and it's just going to happen. So as long as we're not fighting against ourselves and we're actually getting progression made, then it's okay. But like I said, once everything gets built that we're building so far, I'm not going to build anything else for a little while, other than this other farm right here, just to get ourselves started and start focusing on different things. And we also will need to build more homes in a little bit, but like I said, we want to start getting items from all the places we've just set up and let this forest lodge start working so we don't have to worry about it. Okay. awesome situation right now. We have 48 adults, 18 children. All the homes are filled with happy, healthy people. We have a great amount of tools. I know we do need some more iron, but it's fine. We have plenty of it right there, and there's plenty that hasn't been harvested yet from the little areas that I clipped to harvest, so they'll go ahead and start doing that within time, and it'll be okay. Along with, like I said, once the trading post gets set up, we'll be able to start trading for livestock and different things, and that's really when we'll start expanding. Like, I thought I was going to put that hunting post right here. I think we're going to move and use this side as the corrals for animals once we start getting them, and I'll probably throw a couple homes right here, and actually I might throw a house right there. I'm pretty sure I can build one. Let me see. Yeah, actually I can. I have just enough room to build a singular home right there, so we'll go ahead and toss a home down right there. Not to add a whole bunch extra to the workload, but it's a very small workload to be added to the amount that we have set up right now, so it's not really going to hurt anything. Because right now our biggest thing is going to be, is really just iron and getting the iron set up. And just in case anybody's interested in knowing, the main goal for this series, excuse me, is really just to try to get as much growth and survive as long as we can. Obviously the plan would be to fill out the entire map. I know it's a lot of hills and valleys and stuff, so it's a lot of trying to meander around getting everything created. I just figured we'd start off with a little bit of a harder challenge, and then, you know, if this one doesn't really work out the way I planned, then we'll go to a just flat area and start building and see what we can do. Because I think that's probably the weirdest thing about the quarries and mines. You can't really build them into the side of a mountain. You can kind of, like with the mine, it's halfway on the mountain, but it's also halfway sticking out and protruding. Very too many people being miners. Okay, and I think at this point in time, we'll probably go ahead and do another one of the crop fields like I was talking about. Just go ahead and build it. That way it's there. And like I said, I mean, we also do have to wait for the trees to get cut down, so it's not like it's going to be an immediate thing. But we will get all them extra trees from it being cut down. And then obviously, like I said, I already moved enough citizens to be farmers for 4 fields, so we'll just have those 3 people run over to that field and start using it and cultivating the ground. Awesome, our trading post is done. Well, done to the point where we don't have to bring any more materials to it, so. And the other good thing is we haven't had any more deaths yet in the village, so that is a great thing. Oh, look at that. I spoke way too soon. we had somebody die from starvation, which is kind of ironic considering we have food, so I'm a little taken back at that, but it is what it is. And like I said, the biggest thing right now is really just going to be getting everything built, and once everything gets built, I'm pretty much going to take all the laborers we have and throw them into different fields to try to maximize everything, especially in the quarry and the mine, just so that we can go ahead and get a whole bunch of iron. And we'll probably end up setting another mine up at a later point in time to go ahead and get coal for us, which coal will just be used as another resource to burn in people's homes, so we won't have to have as much stress on the woodcutters, which really isn't that big of a deal, but you know, at the same time it would be nice to just have that little bit of you know, ease. We have 12 laborers. I'm gonna go ahead and fill out our farms. I mean, there's really no point for me not to. That way we have extra farmers. And like I said, the farmers really, at every impasse of the season, will just run down and start doing all the little chores and stuff that you've assigned to everybody else. So that'll be nice. And like I said, I think our next item on the list will probably be little fishery right here, along with probably putting 1 or 2 down here in this area. Deer crossing the ocean. It is. It's funny. And then, like I said, once this forest lodge really gets going, this is going to be the biggest forest lodge we have, opposed to this one over here. And once this one gets set up, I'm going to just go ahead and throw a stockpile probably like right behind the quarry, so that way people can just run right to it and fill that one up too, or even put it right to the side of it. A little bit of space getting taken out of this area really isn't that big of a deal. So, or it's really not that big of, yeah. Just fumbling all over words today. Sorry. So we won't be able to take advantage of the extra crop field this season, but next season we will. We will have to be building some more homes come next season. I'm just kind of hoping that next season the quarry is finished being built. Like I said, there's a bunch of more stuff that needs to be mined out and removed, and things that are still on the demolished list. So it's really just us waiting for that to happen. And then I'm also going to throw another 2 people on the hunting profession, just so we have a little bit more people doing all that stuff. Do we have anything being built right now? Oh, no, never mind, that house is already built. They already got a kid. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Alright, well. Like I said, we're really, at this point in time, just on a waiting game for them to harvest the rest of the resources and get the quarry set up, which is really just waiting on iron at this point in time. And once the iron is done, we're good to go. What is this? Work is disabled at this location. Why? Oh. Since when did we get... I'm so confused right now. Why is there nobody working here? 1 of 1. I mean, we definitely got 2 woodcutters now. I don't know why For what though? Why is it disabled? Shouldn't be.